Hey, Shalom, y'all Bashim, y'all Shabbat the Thumb, y'all Shamar, the Thun Bashim, y'all Shai. The water for everybody being here. Salaki, uh, Officer Rawam is a little under the weather today. So, what we gonna do, man, is we gonna hold it down for the brother until he gets well. All right, so the water for joining me, I am Priest and Officer of 1,000 Itazah of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Okay, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, 1969. This is the Lashawan Qadash class, or what you would call the Holy Language class, the Hebrew language. All right, because Lashawan means language or tongue, Qadash means holy. Okay, so in this class, man, we go over the Hebrew. We teach you, we get you to we got just R and Paint up in here with us. Let me know if y'all can hear me, by the way. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but y'all should be able to hear me. Let me double check my mic. I think I might have a little lag too. Oh yeah, y'all should hear me. Y'all should be able to hear me fine. All right, so what I'm about to do is I'm about to present my screen so y'all can see what we're about to get into. We're about to go into the book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 23. Okay. Uh, 1 second. All right, so like about that, we back. So let me go ahead and present my screen. Share screen. All right, boom. Y'all should be able to see what's on my screen. Hopefully, it's visible enough for you here. This is what I do. Zoom in a little bit. I know these letters can get kind of hard to see. Like I said, we in the book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 23. And this is what it says in Hebrew. All right. What you see right here is Hebrew. Okay. So, without further ado, if you're new to the class, you know what I'm saying, what I'd like to do is start off by writing the alphabet on the board. All right. Now, I'm not in the school where I usually would do this, so I don't have a whiteboard. But what I will do is use a whiteboard, a virtual whiteboard. All right, so I'm going to use, and how it's written, how it's pronounced. Language, okay, as well as the vocabulary. Like not have known before, you might want to write it down so that you can pick up on it and start using it in your keep my vocabulary growing. Right? Do that with Hebrew. You see a word, you're like, dang, what's that word? Write it down. You know what I'm saying? Add it to your vocabulary. Start using it more often. All right. One of my favorite words to say is mashalam or mashalam ka, meaning what's good with you. Right? Because I learned it and I was like, oh, well, that's different. That's new. Instead of saying what's good, I could just say mashalam. You know what I'm saying? Or what's peace? You know what I'm saying? Oh, matawab, my bad. Matawab is what's good. Mashalam is what's well, mashalam ka is what's your peace, basically. You know what I'm saying? Basically, how's your peace? You know what I mean? So that being said, let me see if I can. The brother Rawam told me about Figma, which is a virtual whiteboard. So I'm just trying to pull it up for a second. I know I'm a little lagging too. Y'all have to forgive me. It's got a little bit of a lag, but hopefully y'all can hear me well. You know what I'm saying? My hopefully my audio is too wide because I know it ain't coming through. But so we got Wa Amar, right, which is our first word. Now, whenever you see whenever you look at these words, right, you got to look at them and think, what's the root word? All right. Anytime you see a word, you always want to know the root word to that word. That's going to help you understand what you're looking at. You understand? So if we look at the root word of Wa Amar, go to it, it's Amar. Why that load? The word right here, Wa Amar, right? So notice what they did on Blue Letter Bible, right? If you don't know, this is the Blue Letter Bible like crazy. Y'all should definitely send us some sponsorships. You understand? Send us a check because we advocate for Blue Letter. We don't, not necessarily, but we use Blue Letter a lot, and I definitely like breakdown of it. You can also see the you pull up your tools and you can use the interlinear, you know what I'm saying, compare the English translation to the Hebrew. It's a good app, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm using. I suggest you use it as well because it breaks it down, like I said about the inflected. The original word is Wa Amar, but here you can see they separated the Wa and the Amar. Why? Because Amar is the root word. There it is right up under it. So right up under inflicted is where they give you the root. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they're going to pronounce it wrong, so we're not going to play the audio. if you want any information about that, the the way they pronounce it nowadays is modern Hebrew, whereas we practice the ancient Hebrew, the Lashawan with Germanic and Dutch, roots. Well, in here we keep the holy language holy. All right, so that is Amar. And it means and I say. Why Amar means and I say, but the root word means to say or speak. Why means and. Okay. So whenever you're looking at these words, it helps to know the root word. This is why you have to build your vocabulary. We know that Amar means say, and we know that why means and. So when you put it together, it's and say, or in this situation, and I said. Okay. Then we have Allah Yak. Okay, or I'm sorry, all Yaka. This is all Yaka. All right. Again, helps to know the root word. What is the root word for all? All is to or unto, you know what I'm saying? Which is what it tells you right here. If you click on it, let me show you something. Hopefully it loads, man. This thing is going real slow. All right, we click on it. We see it separates it, right? Here it says all ya, and then it separates the ka. All right, notice that it's on the opposite side though now. Okay, why is it on the opposite side? Because before, when it was on the right side, that is a preposition. Whenever you see the root word separated and there's a character before the root word on the right hand side of the root word, that's the preposition. And when you see a character separated on the left hand side of the root word, that is your possessive pronoun. You understand? Or possessive adjective, depending on whether it's a verb or an adjective. Hey, shalom, officer, 5,000 madabar. Shalom, sir. Y'all bless me. Y'all should be good. All right. So, and keep in mind, in Hebrew, you read from right to left. From right to left. Okay, so anytime you see a character on the right hand side of the root word, that's your preposition. Anytime you see a character on the left hand side of the root word, that is your possessive pronoun / adjective. Okay, but you see here in the inflicted, it says all ya, right? But the root word is all. Well, why do we see all ya? Okay, here's why. I'm gonna show you something. I'm going to show you something in a second, right? So the root word is all, which means unto. Here, let me give you a better word. Let me go to the word. You can click on the concordance number. All right. When you click on the concordance number, it's going to give you the full breakdown of the entire word. It's going to give you the different definitions of that word and how it's used and where you can find that throughout the Bible. So let's wait till that pulls up. Tomorrow, this is what will be being read. All right. This is what we're going to be reading tomorrow. So when you tune into the Sabbath service tomorrow, this class right here is very important for you to understand what the Sabbath is about. It's important for you to understand what you're reading when you're reading the Tanakh or the Torah. You understand? When you're reading that Old Testament in Hebrew, this is what you're going to see. So it's important to know the breakdown of it. So when you read it, you can say, oh, I know that word. You know what I'm saying? I know how to break that word down. You know what I mean? This class right here, the Lashawan Qadash class, is very important. Not only for that reason, but also so that you can get your language back. You can get your heritage and your culture back. Because we are a people without a culture. Right? We think everything else is our culture. We think drugs is our culture. We think crime is our culture. You go on Tubi, all you see is black people making drug-related movies, crime-related movies, you know what I'm saying, cheating movies, like men going behind a woman back, lying to them, probably sleeping with another man, woman going behind her man's back, sleeping with other men, you understand? And sometimes women, a lot of the times women, and just a bunch of, chaos and things that are just not our culture, things in on them Tubi movies, not black culture. That is the result of being a slave for 500 years. All right. This right here, this Hebrew, this is our culture. All right. Make no mistake. So get your culture back and teach it to your young ones. Teach it to your kids so that they can have their own language. Every other nation on the earth got their own language. But blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we don't have our own language. Go ask the Native Indian. I hate to, I ain't trying to ramble on and, get sidetracked and nothing, but go ask the Native Indians about their native tongue. You understand? They will be disciplined. Usually they will be hit or beat or worse, to the point where they just lost their language completely because they weren't allowed to speak it. The Hispanics, listen, Taino Indians, man, out there in Puerto Rico, they had a language of their own at once. A while ago, a long time ago, before the conquistador came and destroyed everything, they had a language of their own. Now what do they speak? Spanish. What do the Mexicans speak? Spanish. You understand? That's not their native tongue. That's a language that was given to them by their oppressor. Black people, what language is yours? English? You're not even from England. Why do you speak English if you're not from England? Why do you speak Spanish if you're not from Spain? Why do you speak French if you're not from France? Because you are oppressed by your oppressor. And whatever oppressor rules over you is who is the language you're going to speak. You're going to speak his language. You don't even know your language. You don't even know. The Tainos don't know Arawak. You know what I'm saying? The native Indians don't know their native tongue. The Mexicans don't know the language that the Aztecs spoke. But everybody else knows their language. Black people don't even know what language they had before English. What language did you speak before English? And finding the answer to. Your original language is Hebrew, the Lashawan Qadash. We're gonna teach it to you right here, man. Trooper Gabar Ya'ala, Shalom, warrior, what's going on? If y'all would like the link. Shalom, good to see you. All right, so we have the word all in Hebrew. Okay, let's drop down to show Strong's information. All right, click show Strong's information. Hopefully, eventually, it'll pop up. There we go. All right. And it gives you this whole definition, right? All. It gives you a terrible pronunciation of the word, but it gives you the word pronunciation. It says, but, hold on. All right, we can use, but used only in the shortened constructive form, all right? It says a primitive particle properly denoting motion towards, right? But occasionally used of a quiescent position, i.e., near, with, or among, right? So that's kind of, you'll see this word a lot. This all, you see it a lot when it pertains to or going over something. You'll see this word all. Okay, so that's a very helpful tool as well. It helps you find, it helps you understand, these words and what they mean. So let's get back to it. So we have all, yucca, right? Again, we're breaking it down. It says all yucca, but the word is all. Why does it say all yucca? Okay, let's look at the possessive pronoun that's attached to it. We have all yucca. The possessive pronoun is ka. What does ka mean? Ka means you. When it's is a possessive pronoun that means you, right? It can mean you, it can mean your, depending on the context. So it's saying unto you, but this ya before the ka makes it plural. Okay? The ya before the ka makes it plural. If this was a ya, right? It would be all ya, meaning, well, no, it wouldn't be you. It wouldn't be ya technically, because all ya be ha is a possessive pronoun that means her or she. Multiple different females. So you would see all ya ha. In this instance, it's all ya ka because it's unto thee, meaning multiple people. All right. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please comment below and let us know if this is making sense. And this is a root word by itself. There's no possessive pronoun or anything. This is what is called a verb. You see, word, shalak, speech, verb. So this is a verb word. It's even showing you it's speaking in second person. See what I'm saying? Let go. Let's click on the strong number to get more in depth with the breakdown. It says a primitive root. What does that mean? It means that this right here is the for lack of better words, like the original root, right? Because some words stem from other root words. Some root words stem from words that are like it, that come from it, if that makes sense. But you know that this is a root word. All right, so now let's drop down to the show Strong's information. All right, a primitive root to send away, for, or out in a great variety of applications. It says anywise, appoint, bring, on the way, cast away out, or cast away or cast out, conduct, earnestly, forsake, give up, a bunch of different definitions. Scroll down further, you'll see it says the KJV translates Strong 87971 in the following manner. All right, so these are different translations for the word, and as you can see, it's is it's translated as sinned 566 times throughout the Bible. Okay, so tip, and in total is translated 847 times. All right. It'll also tell you where you can find these translations. Biblical. It says show outline of biblical usage. If you click this, right, this will show you where you can find it at in the Bible. Right. So here you see it says to send away, let go, stretch out, to send, to stretch out, bum bum bum. Bunch of different. Okay, hold on. Yes. Okay. So like, yeah, it should be a place where it shows you where you can find the words in the verses. I'm not really seeing that. Well, you can look here. I don't think this is not what I'm talking about, but you can look here and it does show you different places where you can find it. These are different words though. So real quick, if I hover over this one, if you can look, it says Shalak Thanya, right? Shalak Thanya. These are different. It says second person. Why does it keep doing this? Second person masculine singular suffix. All right. I think that's for. You can find that in the book of Exodus, chapter 5, verse 22. And then it shows you how it's used. All right. But yeah, just a few tips. You know what I mean? If you go to Blue Letter Bible, this is just I'm just showing you how you can use it. Let's go back to our word. So we at Shalak, and in this instance, we know that it means to send or send out or cast out, something like that. But the way it's used here is let go, right? There you see, let my son go. That is Shalak. Scroll up. Man, this is giving me a hard time. Forgive me. All right. So we have Wa'amar, Alayak, Shalak. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep saying Alayak. Wa'amar, Alyaka, Shalak. All right. So, and say unto them or unto thee, Shalak, send, let go, Ath, H853. Now, repeat this, right? Under root word etymology, it says apparently contracted from a wath, right? H226 in the demonstrative sense of an entity, right? So before you saw how the other word was a wath. So I'm not sure if a wath is a primitive root or not, or if it was contracted from another word, but this is what I'm talking about with root words. They can be contracted from another word. All right. Just to highlight that real quick. So now let's go to show Strong's info. All right, so it says apparent a parent contracted from age 2 to 6 in a demonstrative sense of entity, properly self, but generally used to point out more definitely the object of a verb or preposition, even or namely, as such unrepresented in English. Okay, so when you see ath, what it's doing is, like it says here, right, demonstrative sense of entity. Okay, so since properly self, but generally used to point out more definitely the object of a verb or preposition. So it's giving this word, and a lot of times you'll see that dash next to it. Typically, you'll see the dash next to ath. It's that ath is connected to the next word to give it possession. It's another like possessive property. Okay, so you see ath, and then the next word is going to be bunya. Why? Because it's saying my son. It's like it's talking about a son, but the ath is giving that possession, and the possession is mine. If that makes sense. Again, if you lost, let me know. The comment section is open to whoever has questions. The water for tuning in. All right, we're gonna keep it going. Let's go back. All right, so we had our ath, banya. All right, what is banya? It means son. Banya is my son. The root word is bun. Bun means son. Ya is a possessive pronoun, which gives it possession, meaning my. Okay. So you'll have ath, but then you'll still have that possessive pronoun at the end. Why? Because you might see ath and the possessive pronoun ka. It up, in a sense. Ath sets up the word, the root word to be used in possession. Okay, so you'll see ath banya or ath banya ka or ath, such and so on and so forth for these nouns. The strong number is H1121. You can look that up. All right, so we have ath banya, which is son. Then you have wa ya I badunya. So like that. Wa ya I bad na ya. All right. Wa ya I bad. Wa ya I bad na ya. The root word is I bad. You understand? Does anybody know? Common word. Ibad is how the kingdom is built. Ibad is how the kingdom gets built. All right. The word tab. Boom. Hopefully y'all can see it. I don't even know if y'all can see it. All right. Ibad. All right. Another primitive root, to work in any sense, by implication, to serve, right? Ibad also means to serve. Okay. Till, enslave, be, keep in bondage, be bondman, bond service, compel, do, dress. All right. So Ibad means serve. ibad naya. So and of course we see that y again. That means and. Ya ibad naya. What is naya? Right? Let's look at the word, the translation. Let's go down here, scroll down. Wa ya ibad naya, that he may serve me. Okay, right? So the wa meaning and translates it to that. Means and, like we study, wa means meaning and. It can also mean also. And then there's other characters that can also mean also. It can also be translated or transliterated to mean that. So, trying to think of a way that can help you understand it. When you see why, it's like adding to what you're saying. Okay, so it's not, don't always think of it as okay. This is the translation. Remember, Hebrew stood. Say in Hebrew, why ya ibad, you're not also speaks English, what that Spanish word means that they just said. And they might tell you, well, I don't know a translation for that word. Translate what they're saying in English. And they tell you what to think of it like. And that's what you see here. That, so, and he may serve me. So he may serve me. Also, he may serve me. You mean? So Shalak, go that he may serve me. The Yah is the he. Naya. Right? Naya is beginning is you. All right. So why ya? I'm sorry, not you, but he. Right? Why ya ibad naya. All right, that's how you break it. That he may serve me. All right. The next word, and I'll just go down like this because this is pretty simple. Right? Uh, wa tama'an. All right. Wa tama'an. Let's scroll up. So I like to click on it. Pause. Boom, boom, boom. Wa tama'an. Wa tama'an. Right. So we have wa tama'an. The root word is ma'an. Okay. So what is this word? What is aman? I mean ma'an. Salaki. What is ma'an? Says to refuse. Refuse utterly. See if we can get some more on it. All right. To refuse. That's it. Just to refuse. All right. Boom. Let's go back. All right. So to refuse. Okay. So what do we know so far? If ma'an is refused. We know wa sa aman, right? Wa sa aman. So we know wa is and. We know ma'an. Am I saying it right? Wa ta ma'an. The wa is and, ma'an is refused. What do we see here? And if thou refuse. Okay? And if thou refuse. Now, I will say is for if. I believe the thought is for if. I'll have to check that. I believe I actually it might be for a or conjugation. Might be a conjugation for future tense. I have to check my notes. Matter of fact, let me check. Okay. Okay, yeah, nah. So it's not a conjugation. So like it. Hold on. It could be. It could be. I might be looking at it wrong. It could be a conjugation. But what one thing I don't see, usually with conjugations, you have to have um, your subject, right? Who is talking to? Okay, so if it's talking about me, it would start with I. If it's talking about you, it would start with you or a the. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so I don't really see that. So that's why I'm not really sure if that's what it is or not. Boom. Yeah, I'm not really sure if that's what I don't think that's what it is because I don't see that. Um, so the I believe is the if. Wa ta ma'an. Okay, I can double check. I can probably have it for you next week, depending on if either if I or Officer Rawam, so like Officer Rawam is teaching the class next week. But I'll just pass the information over to him and he can tell you. All right, so next, what we had? La Shalakwa, right? La Shalakwa. So we have that same root word again. Also, speaking of which, right? Let me show y'all something else. Another good, helpful tool. Because you might notice as I'm scrolling down, you see the first word we started with, which is Wa Amar. And you see all your ka. And you see Shalak, right? Pay attention. You see Shalak. You see Banya. And then what do you see? You see Shalak again. Notice this arrow right here. This arrow right here, when it's translating it into English, you gotta pay attention to these arrows because this doesn't mean that it's being said twice. This means that these words here, the arrow pointing down, the arrow pointing up, they go together. Right? See how it says let and go? Let my son go is not the way you would say it in Hebrew. All right, you would say Shalak Ath Banya, and that's let my son go. So it's not saying Shalak Ath Banya or Shalak Banya Shalak. It's just saying Shalak Ath Banya, and that's let my son go. But in English, like I was saying before, in order to get you to understand it, it has to be worded like this. It has to say let my son and then go. Even though the let go is one word, which is Shalak. Okay, so if you're using the Blue Letter Bible, it's important to pay attention to that. And when you click on one of those words, like if I was to click on Shalak, you can't see it because my screen is zoomed in. But if I was to hover over Shalak, these two Shalaks will be highlighted down here. So as I'm hovering over this right here, Shalak is highlighted up above as well. If that makes sense. Let me know if y'all paying attention. Shalak it. I don't want to be going over y'all heads or confusing y'all. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to make this easy for y'all to understand. So forgive me if I'm making it confusing. But again, you can just ask your question if you're confused, and I'll do my best to answer it. All right, so going back down, Wata ma'an, and if thou refuse. Then you have la shalak wa. La shalak wa. We know shalak is let go or cast out or send or go, right? But we have two characters outside of shalak. We have a la on the right hand side and a wa on the left hand side. Who knows what the right hand side character is for? If you see something on the right hand side, what is it for? Anybody watching can put it in the comment section. Possessive pronouns? Is it for prepositions? The la on the right hand side of a root word is for prepositions. All right. Then you have the root, which is in the middle, and now we have a one on the left hand side. So instead of having just one possessive or one preposition, we have which means him or he, right? So la is a preposition that means to. Like when we say la yasha, the pronoun means he or him. So we have to let go him, right? To let go him. Or in English, to let him go. Okay. Next we have hana, which means behold. Hana means look. Hana or look or behold. All right. Then you have anak ya. Anak ya. Let's click on that because that is a very interesting word. Right. And we saw that it was translated as I, correct? We see I for anak ya. What kind of word is anak ya? Anak ya is a primitive pronoun. It's not necessarily a primitive root, but a primitive pronoun. All right, which means I. All right. Anak ya means I, me. For some reason they got which. I'm not really sure about that which. But I know for a fact anak ya means I. All right. I, first person, singular. All right, let's go back to it. Anakya, harag, harag. Okay, what is harag? To slay. Primitive root, to smite. I'm sorry, I just got a message. So, boom, boom, boom. A primitive root to smite with deadly intent, destroy, out of hand, kill, murder, put to death, make, slaughter, slay, surely. Right? So, harag means to slay, to unalive. That is harag. Right? Anak ya, unalive. I will unalive. Now, we got this word again, bun. Right? Bun is pronoun. Ka. Ka is a possessive pronoun that means you, your son. All right? Anakya harag banka. I will unalive your son, thy son. All right? Let's go back up to the top. I want to make sure that we're reading it in its proper order. God, Salaki, give me a second. All right, boom. So, wa amar al yaka shalak athbanya wa ya ibadnaya wa tama'an la shalakwa Hana, Anakia, Harag, Ath, Banya. You see? We saw Banya down there, or it's like a Bunka. Ath, Bunka. See how here it's my son, but you still see the Ath. Ath is it says particle direct object marker. Particle direct object marker. Right? You're talking about direct object that belongs to someone, that has possession. Ah, Banya, your son, or my son. Ah, Bunka, your son. All right. Next word is Barak. Oh, it's like a Bakar Ka. Bakar Ka. What is Bakar? Ka. The root word is Ba-Kawar. Ba-Kawar is firstborn. So we see Ba-Kawar. You might be asking, why is there a wa there? This is to not confuse it, right? Because there's some words that can mean the same, or have the same spelling, or have the same character. And then the possessive pronoun at the end is ka. All right, Bakar ka, which is you. Ka is a possessive pronoun again, which means you. It's talking about your firstborn. Ba-Kawar is firstborn. Bakar ka is your firstborn. All right, you click on it right here. Here it is, H1, H1060. All right. So that is the book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 23 in the Hebrew. All right. So tomorrow for the Sabbath service, make sure you tune in. We will go over this tomorrow for the Sabbath service. This will be the first verse read. And you will be able to say, oh, I know what those words mean. Because we went over in the Lashawan Qadash class last night. Before we get to the Sabbath service, if you're a brother that's reading, right? If you are a officer in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and it's your duty to read during the Sabbath service, you want to be able to know what these characters are. Right? You want to be able to look at these characters, know how to pronounce them, know how to separate root words from possessive pronouns and prepositions. All right, so you got to tune into these classes. The water for everybody joining me. Amen. The water, Lord be with Officer Rawam. Hope, Lord willing, he has a speedy recovery. I know he's feeling a little under the weather. So y'all join us next week. Lord willing, we'll see y'all. How shout out to all the